night descends with shadows deep. In blood heaven, no souls asleep. The blood moon rises in crimson light, casting its light upon the night. Winds howl through the hollow trees, a whispering chant carried on the breeze. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Lanterns flicker, casting ghastly forms. In the cemetery something stirs and storms. The graves crack open, their secrets revealed. In Bloodhaven no fate is sealed. A chill creeps in through stone and bone, as spirits of the lost make their presence known. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Through cobbled streets, footsteps fade, ghostly hands reach from the grave. No mercy here in the blood moon's glow. Bloodhaven's light is all you'll know. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Beneath the blood moon's gaze the shadows sway. In Bloodhaven's light the night will stay.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Inner Sleuths live stream. Today, we got a lot to talk about. There's been a lot happening with PAX Day. We just got our first big update, the Proving Grounds, which was verse 1, I believe. Or no, we're in verse 1 right now. Verse 2 is going to be coming in winter. So verse 1 is for the fall, and we're going to get into all of the things that we have so far, all the things that we like, the things we don't like. This is the start of season 2 of PaxCast. So as we go through these iterative changes, like into the Proving Grounds, we're going to be changing the seasons of PaxCast in order to keep it congruent with, the evolution of the game itself. Because we are, for all intents and purposes, in a beta right now, and we are helping to beta test this game. So let's give our thoughts, our honest thoughts, our fair thoughts and opinions on PAX Day Proving Grounds verse 1. But before we get into that, guys, we got a ton of people in chat already. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for being here. We got Chef, we got Robert, we got Moose Cup, Ange, God Silent Grace, EOTB, Albert. Great to see you, Albert. Everybody, I hope you're all having a great day today. Let's have some fun and let's chat about some PAX Day. Big shout out to all of my channel members. All of my videos and everything are only possible because of my channel members. You guys are the direct supporters of this channel. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I cannot be bought and paid. So the only support that I get is through you guys. So huge shout out to all of you. If you guys would like to become a channel member, you can click down below. There's the join button. There's 3 different tiers that you can join. There's perks that go along with it. You see people in chat with their little stars and stuff. So huge shout out to you guys. YouTube has a new thing now where there's super chat goals. You can send super chats, and I will always read super chats. I'll always get to those. I do my best to get to channel members' messages, but sometimes we get caught up in role play and stuff like that, and it gets a little it gets a little hectic. It's hard to manage two chats. The chatting game's always bouncing around. Albert, thank you so much for becoming a junior sleuth, brother. I really appreciate that. First and foremost, guys, I will always tell you the truth. If an update comes out or a patch comes out or something isn't good, I will honestly tell you my thoughts on it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's indifferent, but I can't be bought and paid. I am here to represent you guys and our community and make sure that we're all having our voices heard in a respectful manner. So if you guys are new here, please don't be shy. Hop in chat and let us know exactly what you think about every topic that we bring up. And if you have something that is a burning question or anything like that, don't be shy. Please ask away. Albert says you do good stuff. Thank you, Albert. I really appreciate that. I honestly do. It's because of people like you. It's because of the junior sleuths, the senior sleuths, and the sleuth squad that I'm able to make these videos and bring you guys these updates and do all of the live streams that I do. We currently have 30 days of PAX Day underway. We are well into rebuilding Bloodhaven over on the North America Nix RP server. And we are located in Caries in Western Tremen, right where you guys have seen. If you guys have seen my previous streams so far, you know where we are. We're in the western side of Tremen. Now there's a lot more land there for us. It's a really beautiful area. We're building an awesome boardwalk. Everyone is building up. There were a couple issues with the past update. We'll get into that in a minute here. You guys can see the top left corner. We are flying up to 900 subscribers, and we are well on our way up to 1,000. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a 24-hour subathon. And what that means is several hours will start off on the clock. So I'll probably put, 3-4 hours on the clock, and that clock will start ticking down. That's how long my stream's going to be. And then you guys can do things like interacting with Tangia, which is currently paused. You can gift memberships. You can become a member yourself. All those things will extend the clock further and further into the future, closer and closer to that 24-hour mark. I don't know if I can make it 24 hours, but I'll do my best and we'll see. I don't know if you guys can make it 24 hours either. I think people will be stopping in throughout the entire stream. I think it's going to be fun though, guys. So if you like the content we're putting out anyways, please consider subscribing and helping us reach that goal. We are also doing a giveaway this month. We've given away 2 copies of PAX Day already. Well, we've given away 1. I'm trying to give away the second, but Tweezy, I reached out to you one more time today. I still got no reply. Let me double check, make sure. Yep, no reply still. So unfortunately, I need to move on to Stephen Kane. You guys saw me do the live poll of who won the giveaway. So Stephen Kane 4769. Reach out to me on Discord. We'll get you verified and we'll get you your copy of PAX Day. You can give it to a friend. You can have extra plots. You can do whatever you want to do with it. All you have to do to enter my giveaways, guys, is be subscribed to the channel. You don't have to leave a like on the videos that you watch, but if you do like them, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel out. It tells YouTube that we're putting out good stuff and it helps spread awareness. And once you're subscribed, you just leave comments on any of my uploads during the month. It's as simple as that. Albert says, I did it once. I can do it again. It's not like we're going to have anything on release. Oh, it was redacted. I read it before it was redacted. But yeah, so all you have to do is be subscribed and leave comments on our videos and uploads. You can get 1 entry per upload. So you just go back to my previous videos all throughout this month. You can do it retroactively. Can I change zone? Are you on the North America shard or are you on the European shard? If you're on the European shard, they have said something about letting people switch some to certain, I think it's just server shards. But if your region is not North America, I think, yeah, you're on EU, so you'd have to make a new character, I believe. But in our clan, it's not normally a big problem. And if you just want to have 2 characters, you want to come out and hang out with us over here. If you would like to join our clan, guys, if you'd like to join our community and our clan, type !Discord in chat right now. You just type that command. My bot will give you a link over to our Discord server. And over there, we have a bunch of great people. We are a community first and foremost. We're not just about PAX Day. We play all kinds of stuff together. Albert says, Roger, thank you. Yeah, no problem, man. If you have any other questions, just let me know. But if you guys would like to join the Order of the Blood Brothers or the Cheeky Buggers United community Discord server, you can type !Discord in chat now, and that will give you a link over to our Discord server. We play all kinds of stuff together, like I was saying. We have a great community filled with tons and tons and tons of really awesome people. We grow every single day. We have a bunch of applications in right now, so bear with us as we work through those. We do our best to get to them, but I did warn you guys that we would get flooded with applications once this update came out, and that was true. So we're trying to process through all the applications right now. But if your application is marked pending, make sure you check back. If it says pending, all you have to do is reach out to me or one of my admins, moderators, or officers over on the Discord, and we'll get you vetted and verified. We have to get you added on the roster, and there's a lot of stuff that has to go on. The roster needs to be gone over. There's always a ton of logistics to get to. If you'd like to join the Order of the Blood Brothers or become a verified CBU member, because you don't have to go through any verifications or checks or anything like that to join the Discord. You can just join it. It's an open community. But if you want to become verified, you get a little tag on you that says verified CBU member. That means you can now get into any of our private servers we ever host, like for Project Zomboid or Valheim or Minecraft, whatever we may host. You can get into those instantly for free. And if you'd like to join any of our clans, guilds, organizations, or anything like that for any of the games that we support and play, you're able to get into all of those, whichever ones you like. I did that to remove conflict of interest because we have some friends from other clans who are verified members and they play other games with us like World of Warcraft or Star Citizen, but they are not a part of our PAX Day clan, the Order of the Blood Brothers. So we made that little bit of a distinction there. It's the same application process though. You just go to the website and you submit that over. All right, guys, I'm going to unpause Tangia now. You can interact with Tangia by typing !Tangia. It's mainly for funny little memes and stuff when we're streaming, but I'm going to unpause it here and let's get into this. You'll notice I left the PAX Day Proving Grounds counter in the bottom right corner. That's how long it's been since this patch has gone live, minus 6 hours because there was a 6-hour delay. But that's the same timer that we had on our other stream, our first stream for this update. Before we get into the actual roadmap, I wanted to talk about the November 8th hotfix and the crafting issues that some people were having. There's a couple issues that are going on right now with crafting, but they say on November 8th, they put out their patch notes, fixed an issue that was preventing leather workbench from being built. I didn't have that issue. I was able to place it. Fixed an issue where wine did not have the correct attributes. Fixed several issues where resistance potions, cooldowns, durations. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this patch, guys, that was not in the patch notes. I've discovered several new potions that require vials. It's a lot. Well, all the potions are supposed to take vials now, I guess, and that is a hot topic for people because these vials are non-renewable. I guess you eat them or you smash them on the ground after you drink your potion. They're non-renewable. You cannot recycle in PAX Day apparently, but it's kind of difficult to make those. It's not really difficult, but you need to go through some steps. You need to have glass, you need to have blacksmithing up to a certain level. So like I can't make the large vials. I can only make tiny vials. I need to go to a blacksmith to get the large vials made. They're starting to integrate a lot of these professions into each other, which I think is a good thing at the end of the day. I said very early on, and I knew this was going to be a touchy topic for people, and people are going to have conflicting interests about this. But I think it's good if you can only really master one or two things. It's going to force you to, because it's supposed to be a social game. And yes, that would benefit larger clans, and there's a lot of things that go along with that. But it's my opinion that the more you have to specialize in something, the more you have to work with other people, the more it's going to really bring the game together and the community together and make it shine. Especially once we get the economy, the gold update. That is going to be coming up pretty soon, I think. Let's see. One of the other things they fixed an issue where the lowest level stamina potion was regenerating at a rate of 120 for 15 seconds. So that was just like insane stamina regeneration. So they fixed that. Removed a recipe for salad because it was uncraftable. This one's interesting to me because they say the bronze griffin wind vein was not intended to be in the game and has now been removed. We noticed that there was a bronze griffin wind vein in the game. Apparently it wasn't supposed to be there. Was it not supposed to be there yet? Or was it not supposed to be there at all? We don't really know. If it wasn't supposed to be there at all, why does it have an asset? How did it get added in? Is it supposed to be like a reward for something and it wasn't supposed to be in yet? I don't know. Sometimes they word things a little strange, but I found that interesting. They fixed some bugs. They fixed an issue where spamming open and close in the redeeming queue would crash the game. Just having the redeeming queue open sometimes crashes my game. I've had 4 or 5 crashes now where I would try to get stuff out of the redeeming queue live and it crashed. And I had like 10 off stream where I was just messing with stuff, getting things organized in the chests and whatnot. and it has been a nightmare. So hopefully that is talking about fixing that crash as well, just by having it open. They say here they disabled FSR3 plugin. I thought FSR3 has been gone for a while. That's the upscaling. I think that's been gone for a while, but they say they disabled that plugin for the game project, preventing FSR3 from being selected as a default upscaler on AMD cards. It ran really great for me with that. I didn't have any crashes. I don't know why they removed it, but hopefully it gets added back in soon. Fixed a wieldable related crash fix, or a client crash. And then here's where it starts to get interesting. So there's a bunch of missing building pieces people are talking about. And here they say some updates regarding your character. Oh, this is on the redeeming queue. So if your redeeming queue is empty, try logging out and logging back in. I'm sure that's the first thing people tried. If it's still empty, please contact support at support.playpaxday.com. We have had a couple people who've had their redeeming queue be completely empty. We have others who are missing things. I seem to have most of my stuff, including syrups, which were removed for most people, it sounds like. But I still have my syrups. You can't make those syrups anymore. If you connected your Steam account to your PaxDay account after the maintenance on November 5th and your redeeming queue is empty, please contact support at the same link, support.playpaxday.com. Note that this requires a manual fix, so it may take a bit. They're having to manually fix people's redeeming queues, guys. This is not good. That will take a long, long time, I think, to get to everyone's redeeming queues. But presumably they're only going to be doing the ones that people who are writing in. So if people aren't coming back for the patch or whatever, their redeeming queues will just stay broken and they just won't know because they're not playing, which I think is fine. So they're focusing on the people who are actually putting in tickets at support.playpaxday.com. There's an issue regarding building pieces. So some people were like, hey, I can't build any of my building pieces after this update rolled out. An update on the carpentry issue. And they go on to say, early access updates. Hello, Paxians. We wanted to share an update regarding the issue of carpentry recipes following today's hotfix. They say, what is the issue? Some carpentry recipes now require a higher skill level than before, causing them to disappear from your journal, even if you previously met the level requirement. So if the level requirement changed, it's now going to be removed from your journal. All items already crafted and placed in the game should remain unaffected. And that's my concern, is it literally says should. If I log in after this maintenance that happened early this morning, and half my build is gone, I'm going to lose my mind because I put so much effort. I already had one build torn down by a troll day one when I was pouring my heart and soul into it, and I would hate to have this one have been torn down by a bug. So let's see when we log in later if my apothecary is untouched or not, but it says should remain unaffected. There's also a thing ongoing where they're going to be reintroducing oak trees because oak trees were left out of this patch for some reason. And I'm worried about that as well, because if they reintroduce oak trees, does that mean trees are going to be coming through people's builds? I mean, we already have to deal with the trees that we knew of where they were. Now are there going to be ghost trees popping up and entering the corporeal plane and just tearing right through people's houses? I don't know, but these two issues have me really concerned about people's builds going forward. I mean, we just got back into the Proving Grounds. We just got back into PAX Day. We just rebuilt a lot of stuff by pulling stuff out of our redeeming queue. And now if it gets destroyed by a tree or a bug, that would be detrimental. That would be terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let me catch up on some chat really quick. 1 second here. I had another thing covering my overlay here. Bengals says, sweet baby Jesus, please tell me winter means December. I hope so. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? We'll get to that. We're not onto that yet. I'm going to be getting to that really soon. That's just what's up on screen. That's their post on the website. I'm going over stuff that's on the Discord currently, but we will get to that roadmap here. Darth says, only grape and rosehip syrups removed. They removed a bunch of syrups. We went over the patch notes earlier, and they removed a ton, I thought. I'd have to recheck, but the patch notes were extensive, and it was like all the syrups, I thought. Maharlika says it happened to me. Yeah, Maharlika lost all of his stuff, guys. His whole redeeming queue's gone, but they're going to be working on those manually, Maharlika. They said so in that post, so hopefully they will respond to you soon. Albert says, at God Silent Grace, forgive my senior moment and ignorance. How do I put a ticket in or remove or or more to the point where you do it on their website, support. You go to their website, you go to support.playpaxday.com. I'll put a link in here for you. Give me 1 second, actually. There's the link right there. I don't have the hyperlink on it, so it's not going to let you click it. But if you paste that into your search bar or into your address bar, that should pull up where you can submit a ticket. You'll have to log in so it's attached to your account, like you're logged in on your account, and then go from there. Jennifer says, how do trolls pull down builds? Well, really early on, if you go watch some of my earliest content that I put out, we didn't really know how the permission system worked. We didn't know how sharing your plots worked and stuff. It was my fault at the end of the day. I left my plot set to clan, and we didn't have the vetting and verifying process that we do currently right now have. And somebody was in the clan. We came back into town, and they had torn down the town hall. They just ripped it down to the ground. Just stood there and middle mouse clicked. And then the worst part was they tried to like role play it off. They're like, you hurt my family years ago and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this guy's just delusional. He's literally a troll. He got kicked out of the clan, got put on the blood list, and I haven't seen him since. I think he's just completely fucked off. Who knows? But I hate trolls like that. I hate when they ruin people's builds. I hate when they ruin people's gameplay and stop good people like you and me and all of us from enjoying the game in good faith. I don't like when people act in bad faith, and that's what trolling was. And then, you know, if these trees tear down this one, then the trees trolled me. That damn Lorax. Volterius, how's it going? He says, I got back into PAX Day, but my character was totally erased. Have to start over. I guess I'll need a clan invite as well for Volterius. Yeah, we'll get you a clan invite, buddy. I would open a ticket. They'll get your character remade probably. There's been a lot of issues going on with this patch with people's stuff going missing. I've never heard of anyone's character going missing. So I would open a ticket and see if they can remake your character for you, buddy. But it's great to hear from you. Hope you're having a great day. Bengal says, ruins it for us trying to get in. Ruins it for us trying to get in. Trying to get into the clan? Yeah, I mean, it's not a hard process to get into our clan or our community. You just have to show good faith. We're an extremely loyal people. We have a very interesting and unique clan setup. We're very loyal to one another, and it has to do with the application process as well. You know, it helps to keep out the trolls. It's not very hard though. We just do interviews and stuff like that. We get to know you a little bit, and we look over your application. We verify and check a bunch of stuff. And then we do the onboarding process. It's really not that bad, but it does keep out bad faith actors. And we have a bunch of precautions on our Discord as well to keep them out. You have to wait 10 minutes when you first join in order to like interact with anything really. You have to have verification statuses on your Discord account. We go through a lot of different checks to make sure that people are joining in good faith. And the vast majority of people do. Albert says, as I've watched quite of your videos, I think thanks, my lord, is in order. No problem, Albert. No problem at all. Jennifer says, I see. I'm so sorry, but thank you for the quick response. Yeah, absolutely. I love interacting with you guys in chat. If you guys have any other questions or anything, just let me know. I'm going to pull up my Discord again here and keep going through these fixes here. So they say that our builds should remain unaffected. Note that this is likely affecting other professions as well, which will have their progression path updated with the Proving Grounds update. I think they should have just done a full wipe. That's just my opinion. I think that would have alleviated all of this. We would have been able to progress from day 0 up to where we are now again from scratch. We would have got to experience all the lower level stuff, and without just steamrolling it, we would have actually gotten to use some of the new spells and stuff that they added along the way because it would have been more useful. We're like end game, and we're basically rebuilding a village, and then we're going to go and retest a lot of stuff and mess around with a lot of stuff. So it's just a little interesting, but there is a ton of stuff that was added in that was not on the patch notes, guys. Like I was talking about the potions. So keep your eyes out, go and explore, go and check places out. All the resources are different. It's a whole new world, but there's a lot of things that were not in the patch notes. So they say, what happened? The change to carpentry and other professions progression was actually part of the verse 1 update. However, when saving your character in preparation for the wipe, we only recorded the list of recipes you had learned previously. And when you logged back in after maintenance on November 5th, your character still had all of them, even if your character did not meet the new skill requirement. So essentially what happened was you previously, before the rebalance, had access to these things because of your skill level. After the wipe, it was intended that you weren't going to be able to make those new things because your skill level was not meeting the requirement, but it did carry over for some reason. But now they have removed our ability to craft the things that we should not be able to craft. So you're going to lose access to a lot of things. Maybe you need a higher skill level for some of them. We don't really know. Maybe you need to touch a new ingredient. We don't really know, but you're gonna lose access to some things. I noticed that I'm already alchemy level 39. I could make every potion in the game before. There are new potions now. I touched a lot of the ingredients. It was weird. When I pulled them out of my redeeming queue and started organizing them, I had touched them. The extracts of Leo's tear leaves and stuff like that. For some reason, I touched them again after the update was already live, and then I learned the recipes. That's why I didn't notice right away that there was new potions, because I'd already touched all the ingredients, well, a lot of the ingredients, and nothing showed up. Now, they show up for me because I retouched the ingredients, so it's kind of interesting there. After today's hotfix, the system reconciled all data, and with everything now running as it should have initially, some recipes are no longer available as the system considers, rightfully, your character doesn't have the appropriate skill level. So you're going to have to get your skills up in order to get back to the same building section and crafting as well, to the crafting and building skills. The issue was partially unintended, as our initial goal was to preserve your character's progression as much as possible, and we did not take into account properly the difference in crafting progression. We understand how frustrating it is to discover that you now need a higher level to access recipes you could previously use. That's why they should have just done a wipe, guys. All this would have been alleviated. They would have had people's attention for much longer. If they would have just wiped it, people would have been starting from the ground up again. We would have progressed through all the new stuff. There would have been a lot of things to experience along the way. And that's why I think they should have ultimately just wiped it all. But that's just my opinion. I know some people wouldn't have liked that, but we would have done it together. You know, we would have gone from day one all the way up to where we are again from scratch, and it would give us a lot more to progress through and test and get information on balancing from the ground up again. Because a lot of these new things, like these skill increases, we never really would have noticed because a lot of us are already at high and max skill levels. So they say that, what are we going to do about it? Unfortunately, reverting to the previous setup isn't easy without risking additional issues. We are currently evaluating several options and will choose one that can be implemented with minimal impact on your gameplay experience. One potential solution is to increase the skill level of all affected characters, allowing them to regain access to the recipes that are currently inaccessible. However, this approach may be complex to implement, so we cannot guarantee that it will be the right solution. I don't think they should do that. I think they should either just leave it as it is or do a full wipe. That's just my opinion, though. Let's see what else they say. Well, our team is currently working on finding the best possible fix. This is unlikely to happen today. We prefer to have enough time to get these fixes and deploy them in the next week. So maybe next week there'll be a fix for this carpentry thing. But again, I think they should just leave it alone. You've lost access to recipes because those recipes now require a higher level. You just got to work your way up there. And you're not locked behind anything. You're not deadlocked behind anything. Just simply get your skill level up a little higher, and then you'll re-unlock those. You shouldn't have to, but again, a full wipe would alleviate that. And I think there is a full wipe in our future, guys. If they don't do a full wipe with the economy, which is coming up, it's going to be really interesting. And some people thought maybe they'll just implement it and let the economy be broken from all the things that are already in circulation and call it a day for a little bit and then do a full wipe after when they do a balance pass on the economy. They might do that. But if they do too many world wipes back to back, it's going to be not a good time for people. So that was their one solution. They apologize for not communicating this in advance more clearly, and we're working on making necessary adjustments as quickly as possible. Thank you for your understanding. So that was the last thing they put out about that. That sums up all the stuff that was happening over on the Discord. Now we can get over to the roadmap here. Jennifer says, I think less of us would have returned to be test subjects if they had completely wiped us. I probably would have waited for launch. The grind is a lot. I know the grind is a lot, but I mean, it's to be expected in early access. They need to test balance, because if they don't have any new players coming in where they can get data for the new low-level changes that they have and they never wipe us again, how do they know that it's balanced at that lower level? They need to have things tested on a big scale. I know that the vast majority of my clan, which is 160 plus members, the vast majority of them would have preferred a full wipe. And that's just a use case of 160. I know it's not for everybody. I know you're saying that a lot of you would not have returned, and I completely understand that. But we got to work together as a community to make the game better. And if that means we have to test some stuff, I'm okay with it. I mean, and I could make a new character and I could test the stuff from the ground up, but I'm also making videos on dungeons and things like that. So it's hard to, I don't have alts. So it's hard for me to manage all of that. So, I mean, but people could test the low end stuff by making new characters. But even then, if they already have high level characters who are able to boost them by just feeding them supplies and stuff out of our redeeming queue, it's not a natural progression is all I'm saying. A natural progression would be the entire world is wiped. Everybody is wiped. We're all starting day one again, ground zero. And we don't have a bunch of materials that we carried over because all of that skews the results and all the data downstream if you're able to pull stuff from a redeeming queue and things like that. You don't know how hard it is to find the resources you're looking for. You don't know how hard it is to progress your skills up because you're already level, max level. We need to make sure that the game is in a good state so that way when people, like let's say you didn't come back until launch, the people who are remaining, we need to make sure we test it enough so that way when it does come out on launch day, it feels good for you and the other people who are playing on launch day. That's kind of our ultimate goal, is to make sure that going forward, well, first of all, we're having fun because it's a game and we have a great community and we're just having a bunch of fun role-playing and stuff. But we need to make sure that the game at launch is in a good state because that's really when all eyes are going to be on it. We can sit here and talk about all the updates, and this is basically for early access, the founders of the game when we do this podcast here, because not a lot of people care about all this early stuff, but everyone who's in here does care about this early stuff. But I know what you're saying. A lot of people would not have liked a full wipe, but a lot of people would have liked a full wipe. I will warn you, I think we are going to get at least one full wipe before the official end of early access, because we know everything's going to wipe when we leave early access. So there's going to be a wipe no matter what. We know that. Full, clean across the board. I would not be surprised if we get at least one other wipe before then, a full wipe. And I think it's going to be revolving around the economy. It's hard to balance an economy when you already have inflation due to bugs and stuff. People were mez fireballing a lot of items into existence. And that will ruin the economy because supply and demand. The more things you have in supply, people are going to be able to hoard a bunch of gold. The gold will become useless and worthless, and people will revert to bartering. So I think that in order to get the economy right, they need to do a full wipe. So just putting that out there, that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. I could be wrong. Maybe they're not going to wipe until the end, but I don't know how they would do that and collect good data. Ryan, how's it going, buddy? Welcome into the stream. He says, I think groups would return after a wipe and preferred. I think a lot of solo players may not have. Also, good morning. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. So you don't think a lot of solo players would have? And that maybe so. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I'm in such a large group and we all help each other, but it is a social game. If you're a solo player, things are inherently going to be more difficult for you because you're playing solo, but it kind of pushes you towards interacting with people, especially with this. Smaller groups are going to have trouble going forward. They're going to have to make trade networks because doing all of these skills, I don't think is going to be feasible when it comes live. Jennifer says, yes, what Ryan said. I see the value in the grind, though. It's more of a personal, crazy real life issue for me. You know what they could do, and this would be a unique solution to this? They could just do multipliers. World of Warcraft, not classic, but like private servers and stuff, they do this sometimes because they know that people don't want to do the grindy grind, like the mega grind. So what they'll do is they'll increase the rate multiplier on things. They could do something like that where they just times everything by 2, like the speed at which you level up and stuff like that. And then the data is all good because it's still a 1-to-1 ratio, or it's a 1-to-2 ratio rather. And they could just divide all the data by 2 to see how long it would have taken the natural way. So it's still good data. They could do a rate modified server for people who want to do a faster playthrough or something like that. This is an MMO. It's made for longevity. So it is a very, very long game. It's made to be a long game, and it's made to be an indefinite game eventually, with game loops that will be refreshing themselves and having, resource sinks and things like that. It is made to be an MMO. I mean, think of World of Warcraft. If they never added any new content like Classic, you would be relying on PvP, raids, dungeons, and things like that. But the dungeons are the same, the raids are the same, so you need fresh ones every now and then with new mechanics and new world bosses and stuff. But the PvP would always stay interesting, in my opinion. I love World of Warcraft PvP. It's some of my favorite stuff in the game and the world. I haven't really done that in a long time, but I absolutely love that PvP. Let's catch up on some more chat here before we get into the roadmap. You guys all have really good points too. I'm not invalidating anybody's points. You guys all have very good points. These are just my opinions. Theo, how's it going? He says, hello, bud. Hope you're having a great day today, Theo. Ryan says, I think less than group players. Yeah, and that may be so. Theo says, what happened? You'll have to go back and watch the beginning of the podcast here. We went over some patch notes that weren't included in this roadmap update that you see on screen here with the crafting issues and stuff like that people have been having. And we were just having a little bit of a conversation about wipes going forward. Ryan says, or at least let me reframe that with no markets, less solo players. I do think the markets are going to be a big part of the game, but I seriously think they need to consider wiping our stuff before we get the market update. If they don't, it's going to be huge inflation. But like some people said, and it's a good point, maybe they're going to let people carry all their shit over, see how broken the economy is, but let us just test its functionality and then do a wipe later in order to refresh the economy. I don't know. We'll see. The cat died. How's it going, buddy? He says, doing my daily check-in. How's it going, Void? It's going great. We're just going to be talking about the roadmap right here, coming up pretty soon here. We just got done talking about all of the other issues that were going on at launch and how people can reach out to PaxDay to help get that resolved. Stephen Kane, 4769, please reach out to me on Discord to claim your prize. You have 48 hours. Cat died. How you doing, buddy? Let's get into this roadmap here because I'm really excited about this. So they say, hello, Paxians. This is on their website. I love when they do this on their website because then it's a nice, clean visual for you guys. They say, now that our first major content patch is live, we wanted to update the roadmap we posted earlier this year to give you an idea of what's coming. So I've shown off the previous roadmap quite a bit. This is the new roadmap. PaxDay Proving Grounds Early Access Verse 1, The Road Ahead. Give me 1 second here. I actually have a big image overlay of this. Let me find it here. Here we go. Let me hide that. All right, so you guys are looking at this. I'm going to read it off their website, but you guys are looking at it nice and big here, horizontal. Yas says, or maybe they will have a limited economy, maybe dungeon items. Maybe no dungeon items allowed. I don't know how they would do that, but it's a possibility. Theo says, oh, so everyone started, so everyone stating out the feedback that wasn't implemented? What do you mean? What do you mean there, Theo? The cat died says, I'm doing good, enjoying the restart so far. Yeah, we're having a blast with the restart so far. Got some carpentry levels to grind? Yes, that's the one thing that we were talking about earlier was that you lost access to some things now because it was unintended that you kept them going forward. So guys, this roadmap, verse 1 is fall. I think that's ongoing right now. That's what we're in right now is verse 1. Also, during verse 1, Tremin was the most populous home valley. Super proud of that. Very happy to have everyone who came and lived by us and played by us. We have our allies near us now. We are still in Tremin over on North American Nix RP. If you guys are wanting to come and hang out with us and play and do some fun role play, we're going to be doing probably a lot of town role play because our town is kind of sprawling now. We have a boardwalk. I've started RP walking around town and checking out people's builds and stuff. It's been a really fun time. So if you guys want to hang out with us and check in on all that stuff, make sure you come over to North American Nix RP. But yeah, Carrie's Tremin was the most populous region in verse 1. It was awesome to have all of you there with us. Brian, how's it going? He says, has anyone in your clan got skinning up high enough to determine if the tier 3 hides are achievable or anything is your skin or anything if your skinning is great? I am going to grind it later. I don't think anyone has gotten that up really high enough yet because everybody's just been building. Everybody's been building. I got skinning up to like level 4 or 5 or something like that, but every single person has been just building, and they're probably going to be building for a while. We got in to do a couple small dungeon runs here and there, and we've gone out to explore the new camps. I thoroughly enjoy fighting in the new camps. They're so obtainable for a lot of people. They're very rewarding. The combat feels next level now. It's like an entirely new combat system, and it just feels so, so good. Going to those outposts for the Inquisition and stuff and fighting them, it's amazing. The volume of enemies you can take out feels so good. You feel strong with your magic, and you feel strong with your items now. Your attacks, the control that you have over your character, it all feels really, really good. I think we might get nerfed a little, or they might get buffed a little. Who knows? It might be slightly too easy, maybe, potentially. I don't know. We will see what they do going forward. Dungeons feel okay balance-wise, but the open world stuff, maybe they're made to be that easy because, again, those are the low-level, like level 4 guys, and they give you that starting magic gear. I'm not too sure. Once you leave the Heartlands, they do get a little bit harder. But just don't be surprised if we do get nerfed on things, because sometimes people get upset by that and they're like, hey, how are they going to nerf us? That, it feels bad when you get nerfed. Like World of Warcraft, when you get a nerf, it feels terrible. So what they try to do is they try to just bump other classes up to meet the ones that are up at the top end of the DPS and stuff like that. So just don't be surprised if we get a nerf. Keva, how's it going? Skywatch Castle is on an even higher mountain, working on it. Nice. I'll have to check that out. Great to hear. Thanks for stopping by the stream as well. So, Brian, I don't know about the skinning thing. No one's really gotten it high enough yet. We will definitely be going out and doing some more exploring, because now that my apothecary's built, the guild bank is built, and the guild hall, the blood hall, is almost built. I'm almost ready to head out. I got to do a couple of sections of boardwalk and then do some street lamps. But other than that, I'm not a master builder. I'm not really huge on building. I have some fun putting little details and stuff in, but we're going to go out and do a lot of exploring out in the wildlands. We're going to take on a bunch of camps. We're going to test out the combat extensively. We're going to give all of our feedback on it. It's not perfect. There's not a lot. There's a couple things that I would change about it, and there's a couple bugs that I noticed. But it is absolutely amazing. I love it. Tizzy, how's it going? They say I'm on skinning level 14. Oh, very nice. Good job. Yes, you've been doing a lot of hunting. Ryan says, skinning 5 here, haven't focused on it yet. Yeah, exactly. Cat Died says, I agree about the combat. Hope they fix the souls firing unblockable arrows. Oh yeah, and they go through walls and stuff, I noticed too right now. They're able to shoot arrows through tents and through walls and things like that. Ange says, I am loving all of these WoW references today, Void. Well, I pull from what I know, and I've played so much World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is like my one true love. I love World of Warcraft. It's had some bad patches. It's had some good patches. It's had its ups and downs. I've had my fair share of private servers. I'm looking forward to Turtle WoW's private server when it comes out. It's been a roller coaster with World of Warcraft, but I pull from things that I know. So I've had a lot of experience with it. Star Citizen is another one of my favorite games as well. That's probably my favorite project that's ongoing, along with PAX Day. PAX Day and Star Citizen, favorite projects. World of Warcraft, one of my favorite pastimes. I love that game. The current expansion, The War Within, Chef's Kiss. It's amazing. Brian says, I can confirm for sure hunting the bears in the wildlands do not by default drop tier 3 anymore. Yeah, so the things don't drop tier 3 anymore by default because you have to get your skinning up. So I know, well, we all knew it was based on the skinning level. I'm just hoping that even boars might. Yeah, maybe when you get it high enough, even like boars and rabbits and stuff they'll just be different sizes. That would be cool. Maybe get like large, medium, and small or something like that. That would make the most sense to me. Brian says, hiya, Ange. Elric here. Elric, how many YouTube accounts do you have? Theo says, I tried the pillar stacking to go higher on the floor level, and I was able to get that working. Oh, good. Very, very good. Yeah, build up those pillars. You'll get a lot of structural integrity in your build. The Cat Died says, RuneScape is one of my true loves game-wise. Yes, I love RuneScape as well, and I'm really excited for... I'm trying to find out how to cover it on the channel, because I don't want to just drop it in and then people not like it, but I guess I don't really know unless I just drop it in. Let me know what you guys think of Brighter Shores. I really want to try Brighter Shores. It's got a really great monetization model. It's made by the original creator of RuneScape. The engine's been in development for 10 years now. I really want to get into that, but it looks really, really great. Maven says, apologies, I'm late, my lord. You're never late. You're always here in spirit, Maven. No worries at all. Ange says, hey, Ulrich, your place is coming along nicely. Dart and I stopped by last night, and it looks great. I want to check out everybody's builds. Tizzy says, what is tier 3 hide? Isn't tier 3 hide... That's like the original gold hides, is it not? The Cat Died says Brighter Shores is no good in my opinion. I know this is a podcast about PAX Day, but I'm curious why you think it's no good. I'm always open for criticisms and stuff, but you have to be able to quantify it. You have to be able to articulate it and tell me. That's what makes it good faith. So we could talk a little bit about that, but this PaxCasts are dedicated to PAX Day, but we can definitely talk about that, and we can talk about that in the future too, because these are always chill. All my streams are always chill. All right, so let's look at the road ahead here, guys. So the road ahead for PAX Day Proving Grounds Verse 1, new biomes, corrupted plains. The biomes have been redistributed, and there are some new biomes, as well as everything within the biomes got redistributed as well. So all of the assets within the biomes, such as vegetation, plants, resource distribution, and animals and enemies, have all been changed according to the world update. And the Corrupted Plains is a really cool new biome. That's where all the corrupted animals are now. They got these weird looking alien penis things that grow out of the ground that some people say they're trees. They look really, really weird. I don't know if I like them or not, but they look really weird. You can find different resources in different biomes now. So there are new biomes that are being added to the game, guys. Chat is flying by, guys. I have a goal for super chats of 5. If you have anything that you want 100% read, make sure you do it in a super chat. And I try to get to channel members' messages. I really try to get to everybody's messages. But if I miss any while I'm reading over these patch notes, the chat is going by faster than I can keep up with it right now. Cat Died says he should have just made RuneScape 2 Classic. A lot of problems with the game. Well, it is early access, though. That they're already solved with RuneScape. Yeah, well, it's early access, so I think maybe by the time it comes out, maybe it'll be in the good state that it needs to be in. Tizzy says, I've never gotten golden hides from bears in the wildlands. So the mist bears have given us the highest tier stuff in the past. The orange ones, yeah, not golden really. They're orangish. Maven says the corrupted plains were especially enlightening. I really like them. They're an alien asparagus. That's what Maven calls them. The Corrupted Plains is really, really cool biome, though. I really do like it there. I like the new audio and visuals that we have. The world is really starting to come alive and feel unique as you're traveling through it. And I absolutely love that. I love the feel of the world right now. And it's only going to get better from here, guys. The Cat Died says, skills that you developed in one episode don't carry over or are useful. I think they addressed that, though. I think I read something about the patch notes that there was something about stuff going between episodes that was supposed to. It was a bug. I think that was a bug. Check back on the patch notes for it. Actually, in fact, let me check it right now really quick. I know, again, this is not really what this podcast is about, but I'm on their Discord here, and let's see. There was something about game news. You can now customize your keybinds, close interface. You can now click on the minimap, improved queue difficulty indicator, various bug fixes. So I think there was bug fixes that had to do with that. Why combat professions work the way they work and do what they do. There was something about it. I remember reading something about that. I don't know. I'll have to check back on that after and get back to you on it. But yeah, there was something to do with that progression not carrying over. Tizzy says, Brian, I can confirm even boars in the wildlands can drop orange hides, but it is normal, not the large like the bears. Oh, there you go. That's great news, actually. So we just got to get our leather working up high enough. That's the first point on verse 1, which is during the fall. So we're still in. Are we still in fall right now? No, I guess technically. When does winter start officially, guys? When does winter officially start? Because we're in fall right now, I think. This is verse 1. Did we enter the first day of quote unquote winter yet? I don't really know when the official change for that is. Improved combat moves we already have. The improved combat, as we've talked and raved about here on the channel, the combat is astounding. I love it. It is so, so good. It's hard to tell when you're in a dungeon with a lot of people because that just tends to be a mosh pit. But out in the open world where you're going enemy to enemy and you're moving around a base, it feels so good to be able to have those lunges for movement, the amount of the volume of enemies you can take out. The improved combat moves are awesome. Enemy camps, those are the new things that we got as well. Those are scattered out everywhere. Those are pretty damn perfect in my opinion. I haven't really seen too many guys like spawning in the ground. It looks like they did a lot of work on them with the polishing passes. They turned out really, really great. And there's camps for all kinds of the new factions that have been revamped, which is the next point here. Enemies revamped Inquisitors and Lost Souls. And I would even go as far to say that technically the Zebians are kind of reworked as well. They're not, they have all the same enemies and stuff like that, but they're spawning at those camps now. But the Inquisition got fully reworked, and so did the Lost Souls. They're now much more immersive. They have all kinds of new variants of them. The Souls just look different. The Inquisition have a bunch of different types of aesthetic looks now and stuff like that. Basic gear and spells were gone over. So we know of the three new spells that were added in. The Breath of Life, the Breath of Joy, and the Endurance one or whatever it is. There's a couple of them. Those shoes that give you the one that lets you run really fast, those things are amazing. Those things are absolutely amazing. You just throw those on when you're traveling, you get places a lot faster. They did change the speed at which you can traverse the world, and I like the change, though. You're a little bit slower. I think it's good, though, because you use less stamina. Tizzy says, just got a small orange hide from a bunny in the Heartlands. Interesting. Yeah, I think as the higher you get up your skill level in skinning, you're going to be able to get more and more of that. So they say here, revamped high-tier items. I think they rebalanced stuff on the server end, like in the database, changing how hard they hit, their cooldowns, and all kinds of stuff like that. I have not really seen new high-tier items, but they look different as well. Visuals. This was something that we did not know we were really going to get until later, but we actually ended up getting it because they even said the wear and tear system's not ready and it's going to come later, but it actually came with the update. And that's because they're not very good at communicating things to us. So the visual wear and tear is really, really cool. The lifetime of your equipment as it goes down. So it's not based on your durability. You could go through an entire durability bar and your stuff will like break and it will remain looking visually the same. And then once you repair it, it'll take a third of its lifetime off because you can repair most things like 3 times. It'll have wear and tear where it starts to look worse. It'll have rust on it and dents and all kinds of stuff. I think it's a little extreme right now. I think it might need to be toned down a little bit. And I would like to see 2 types of wear and tear. This is just my opinion. This is theorycraft. This is what I'd like to see. If they did 2 types of wear and tear, one was like physical dents and damage and hanging parts and rivets that are broken. And then the other could be like surface wear and tear. The surface wear and tear, like rust and stuff like that, scuffs, that could be like textural changes. That could be from the durability. So you could see how much durability is left on someone's armor visually. And then I think the dents and broken pieces and rivets broken, that could be from the lifetime. That would be a really interesting way of going about it. But nevertheless, it does look really great right now. It's really cool to see all the different stages of the gear going through its, breakdown stages. Permissions, clan rank, and loot. So the loot permissions, we had a little bit of trouble with them so far because we go into dungeons. We take a lot of people into dungeons. We do big dungeon runs. We do a lot of things with multiple groups because you only have 6 people in a group. It would be nice if they implement party raids like they have in World of Warcraft. If you could have a raid and then the leader could change the loot rules like you can in World of Warcraft. Now it's going to be a real MMO. And you can change the loot to master loot, where the leader loots everything. You could make it to where maybe only bosses. This would be a nice touch. Let everything else be officers or certain rank and above, and then, or anybody. Okay, let me start from the beginning. This is what would be my dream for permissions for loot. Add in raids, so now you can have parties and raids. Let the party leader and or raid leader determine one of a couple different options for the loot. You can have it be free for all. You can have it be whoever did the most damage. You could have it be master loot for the group or the raid. And or you could set the bosses to only be lootable by the raid or party leader. And or you could set everything else to be lootable by officers and above or anybody. I think all of those, that would be my dream for loot permissions, honestly. That would be absolutely perfect. There'd be no more issues with any of it, because right now we go in with 2 groups, and I had the smaller group of us. Maven had the larger group, and her group was able to loot all the bosses. I like to loot the bosses on stream, so that way you guys can see what we're getting from those different bosses, because there's a lot of people who don't know what comes from these things, because they're not, using the database that was all data mined and stuff, and they want to see naturally what these guys are dropping. and I was not able to show that off. So it's kind of frustrating the way the loot works right now, but at least you can't really have ninja looters anymore. You still kind of can if people are hitting down from their weight class. So you could go and troll, weaker people because you're inherently going to do more damage if you have better gear and higher skill levels. So you could just go and follow people around, and whatever they hit, you just smack it and kill it, and then you take the loot. So it could still be trollable to lower level people. Something to keep in mind there. They may want to introduce in certain areas, like maybe in the Heartland, it's whoever tags it first or something, but then it's going to introduce its own problems. So it's going to be a fine line of figuring that out. Brian says, Tizzy, after the new launch, I haven't seen anything orange. I've killed probably 150 critters. You got to get your skinning up, right? No, it's not orange anymore, I don't think. Now it's based on the tiers. They changed all the icons for stuff. All the leathers look the same. All the wood looks the same. It's super confusing. I wish they went back to the default icons they had before. That's just my opinion. It's going to take a long time to get used to the new visuals for the icons. But yeah, they all changed. They're not like, I don't think they are even orange anymore. Maybe they are orange still. I don't know. I'd have to look at them again. And says, so I think it would be totally awesome if when you or your last durability level, if your gear started getting the bugs from the dungeons crawling on them as the gear is getting corrupted. Oh, that would be creepy. That would be really creepy. Maven says, all your loot belongs to us. LOL, I turn in way more than I take, though. So that's the visual wear and tear and the permission system. Oh, clan ranks. So with the clan ranks, you can now set your chests and your plots to be for Eldermen or Elders in your clan only, or clan or private or public. So we do have 2 more levels of control over our clans now, which does help quite a bit because that means that I can set officers to be able to have access to the guild bank and things like that. And you could do it for chests, and you could do it for builds. So in the guild bank, I don't have to give anyone permission to build or tear down the guild bank, but I can give officers the access to all of the chests in there. Now I have a bunch of chests in there. I'll show you guys it when we get into our next stream. But there's a shit ton of chests. And I'm going to have to go to each and every single one of those and change the permissions for it to be for officers. Ganja Claus, how's it going? He says, agreed, the old thumbnails were better in my opinion. Yeah, they were just easier, and it may just be that we were used to it, so maybe we're biased, I don't know. But it nevertheless, I liked the old ones. They were easy to distinguish between what was what. Now a lot of the stuff just looks same. It's hard to tell. Tizzy says they are easy to see. They got the tier 2 icon. Yeah, but a lot of people aren't used to looking for those icons and stuff, and the actual leather itself looks so much alike that and this isn't just my opinion. I'm not saying that for you, Tizzy. It's you're lying or anything like that. Your opinion is valid. I'm just saying for the people that I've talked to, not a lot of people like the new icons because they're hard to distinguish. And maybe that's just an us problem. Maybe we just got to get used to it, But I definitely know what you're saying, how they have the little tier 2 icons and stuff on them. The tier 3, 4, and 5 I've seen now. Maven says, I would like an in-game tracking system so I could take tier 3 hides and give them to, say, Crash. It will notify you I took them. That would be really interesting. That would be very helpful, actually. Brian says, tier 2 aren't for fine leather, though. That's boiled at best. Tier 3 was the old gold. Tier 2 was the old red. Yeah, they changed a lot of the stuff. It's gonna take a little while to get used to all of that. Tizzy says, I'm gonna let you guys figure it out. Figure it out yourself. You guys seem smart enough. I mean, everyone's gonna end up figuring it out. It's not like we don't have it figured out. It's just when we go to grab something out of a chest, it looks like something else in our brain. Your mind associates it with this other tier, this other item or something, and then you end up grabbing the wrong thing. It's a little more confusing is what I've heard from a lot of people, but everyone's figuring it out. I mean, we really have no choice. They're probably here to stay, so we'll all get used to it eventually. But that's the new permissions that we have for loot and clan ranks. We also got some new building sets, grapevines, wall props, new beams, new signs. Not everyone, but some people said we do have the archways, but you have to be really high carpentry. I've not yet had the chance to mess around with the grapevines. I'm really interested to see those. I've seen other people put them on their stuff, but I cannot wait to get those all over the apothecary and my builds. I love adding levels of detail onto builds like that. It really makes them feel alive and lived in. Wall props, new beams, and new signs are also in the build sets. Recipe tracker, the journal. The journal has been It's taking a little bit of getting used to try and search how to make something, because if you click something, it shows you what it makes by default, and then you have to go back to the other tab, and then you can search for it and try to see if you can how you can make it. But the thing is, it shows you what things are made for that you don't even have unlocked yet. So I can see what a large vial is used for, but I can't see large vials yet because I don't have them unlocked. So I think that is maybe one point that they could work on, especially for new players. They may be a little confused there if they see the large vial, but then they don't have the ability to make it. So I think that maybe it just shouldn't even show you what things make what if you don't have them unlocked. That might be a better way of doing it. Tizzy says, oh, I'm not arguing about the icons. I don't like them either. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then they updated to Unreal Engine 5.3. So Unreal 5.4 is the next milestone, guys. But I think along with this update, a lot of great things came to the world. The world has a lot less of those tears in the soil. There is a lot better level of detail when you're looking out into the distance. Things all around just look a little better. The interiors are a little bit darker. I don't know if that's due to the Unreal 5.3 update or if it has something else to do with the nighttime ambiance or something. Outside feels just as bright as it did really early on. It used to be nice and dark outside with a super blue glow. Now it's more white glow outside ever since a while ago. And it's been really, really bright. It used to be super bright inside. In fact, it actually got brighter inside at night than it was during the day, which I thought was kind of weird. Now they've fixed the interior lighting and it's super dark. I think they need to do a pass on all the lighting and up them just a little bit, because the more light sources you have, the more lag you create. The more lag you create, the more people lag out. And with the lighting being darker now inside and the light sources not being as bright as I would like, it tends to it forces people into creating a little more lag. And I always pride myself on using as few building pieces as possible to accomplish the goal in mind. Now, I know I put a lot of support struts and stuff like that, but each of those support struts serves a singular purpose. I've seen some people build doors with 2,000 build pieces and stuff, and that just gets insane. But we always try to build with as few pieces as possible to make it less laggy for people. So when we're forced to put a lot of lights in, it's inherently creating a lot of lag for people. So I don't know what else came with Unreal 5.3. There was a lot of stuff. I think it was a big milestone for them. So I'm really glad that they were able to get that implemented. I think going to 5.4 might be a little bit easier. Ganja Claus says, yeah, it took me a while to realize the old steel chopping axe is now wrought iron chopping axe tier 2. Yeah, that's right. It's the tier 2 one. Yeah, they did a lot of strange stuff coming over here. That's why I almost kind of wish that it was just a flat out wipe. But I know that some people wouldn't have liked that, so I'm indifferent about it. I can give my opinion on it, and I can understand your guys' opinion on it. But I think that a full wipe would have alleviated a lot of the confusion with a lot of things, because we would have been discovering these things for the first time. I have an inventory filled with all kinds of leathers and stuff that I once knew what they looked like. If I had to acquire it for the first time, I would then have something tangible in my brain to associate with it, like, oh, I killed this rabbit and it dropped this looking hide with this number of icons and stars and stuff on it. So this comes from these guys. That's what it looks like. That's what it's used for. It's like the way I equated it was, imagine you boosted a character in World of Warcraft and you've never played that class before. You have all kinds of skills and icons and stuff that you've never seen. You don't even know what they do. And it takes you a while to associate all those in your brain. Whereas if you level up from level 1 all the way up to max level, you learn it along the way. And you actually learn what the spells do because they're trickled into you. You learn a couple spells here and there. You get a couple talents here and there. And it makes more sense in your brain. I think once we do get a full wipe, things will really stick a lot better for new players and old players alike. Ryan says, I definitely prefer the external lighting to be darker at night outside. There's a lot more atmospheric. Yes, I absolutely love it outside, but inside, I feel like the lights and stuff are just a little bit too dark. And I like the atmosphericness inside too, like the ambiance. I don't want it to just be super, super bright, but let's put it this way. If the lights are a little bit brighter, you can use, if you want to keep the same brightness, you could just use less of the lights. But they have been tweaking the lighting system since the start, and they don't really put it in the patch notes. It's just been being tweaked. There's a lot of stuff that does not make it in the patch notes, guys, and I'm talking like a lot of stuff that we have to get out there and test, and small little iterative changes and things like that that just crop up in the world. Thank you for that subscription. Really, really appreciate that, WJ Moses22, thank you so much for that subscription. Really, really appreciate that. Guys, we're getting closer to that 1,000 goal. For anyone who's just tuning in for the first time, you guys can subscribe to the channel and take part in a giveaway we're doing this month. We're giving away a copy of PAX Day. The last month's copy goes to Stephen Kane. Stephen, please reach out to me on Discord so we can get you your prize. You have 48 hours, otherwise it's going to move on to Rebecca. That's the third winner. And if no one wins this one, we'll do another drawing for last month's. But we have another giveaway going on this month. We're giving away another copy of PAX Day. You just have to be subscribed to the channel and leave comments down below on all of my uploads. You have a chance to win a free copy of PAX Day. Give it to a friend, give it to a family member, have more plots for yourself. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Ganja Claus says, okay, thank you. Yeah, no problem, man. Ange says they need the guy who made the puddles to work on the lighting. We all know he would do a great job. Those puddles, people, this is actually kind of funny. People were pretty mad when they first saw the patch notes and how many things were removed and stuff like that. They were kind of upset because they thought we weren't getting that much and they didn't know how it was all going to feel in the end and things like that. And they were making fun of the puddles. They're like, oh, but don't worry, guys, we're getting puddles. Don't worry, we're getting puddles. It's going to be all right. And I was like, yeah, puddles. Okay, I'm sure they'll be all right. You know, whenever we get in, I'm like, I love these puddles. These puddles are awesome. You can jump in the mud, they splash, they got particle effect. Those puddles are amazing. Once we get weather, they'll make a little more sense, and I'm really looking forward to the weather. And I don't know if those puddles are alluding to maybe getting weather sometime soon. We'll read down below. I actually see on here weather. So it looks like we're going to be getting weather. Let's get into verse 2, which is coming in winter. So this is going to be our next update coming sometime in the winter. Also, someone in chat, let me know, when does winter officially start? Ganja says, oh, well, yeah, puddles are amazing. I kept bringing it up every time we passed one. I did too. Yeah, I did too. On stream, I'm like, here's another awesome puddle. And says, have you seen the snow yet and heard the crunch? I have not. I've not had a chance to get up there, check it out yet. I'll have to make a little excursion and go check that out. Maybe I'll do that later today. Off stream, I'll just go explore a little bit. Maybe I'll record. I don't know. We'll see. I like to bring you guys along with everything I do, but YouTube doesn't like when I double stream in one day, because when you double stream, sometimes the second one doesn't get pushed. It cuts off the push and views for your first stream. YouTube works kind of strange. They are getting better systems though now for streamers, because now we have the super chat goals that we can do, which I start up at the beginning of every stream, and they're starting to carry over some more stuff like what Twitch has. Hopefully we get raids and a lot of the more systems integrated into YouTube streaming. I really think that it could be something very special. I'm only on YouTube, guys. I'm not over on Twitch. I'm only here. Ryan says, if they can do weather in any proximity to how Star Citizen has been showcasing their weather in the future, I'll lose my mind. Yeah, Star Citizen, CitizenCon that we covered was absolutely amazing. Tons of great showcases. I did some little shorts on it. I covered the entirety of it. So if you guys want to see those super long streams where we watched all that it had to offer, make sure you guys go back and watch my CitizenCon coverage. The weather in Star Citizen's future is so bright, guys. They showed off some really, really great stuff, but the weather over there is really, really crazy. I hope we at least get localized weather. What I mean by that is weather that travels, like in Valheim and Vintage. Does Vintage Story have that? I think Vintage Story does. And a couple other games, they have really good traveling storms. The storms will actually roll in where they're not just like World of Warcraft or Minecraft where it's, everywhere all at once. I think that would be really, really great. Ganja said, who thought I would care about puddles? I know, right? Ryan says, oh, by the way, winter usually officially begins on December 22nd. Okay, December 21st, 22nd, something like that. Thank you, the Jur36. Great to have you in stream. If this is your first time here, welcome in. Thagus, how's it going, buddy? Thagus says, have you seen today's update yet? Or maybe you get more to that later. Or maybe you're getting to that later. Are you talking about the one that's referring to the carpentry and stuff like that? I think we went over that at the beginning. Let me check really quick here. We went over some updates regarding your characters. We went over the carpentry issue patch notes. We went over that at the beginning. Is that what you're referring to? I did that before we got into the roadmap here, because I saw that those updates went out, and that was actually more pressing. Yeah, I probably missed it. Sorry. No, don't be sorry. Yeah, if you want to catch up on what we talked about in regards to that, just go check the beginning of this stream. you could obviously watch the rest of this stream, and then after it's done, you can go watch the beginning and leave a comment because you have a chance to win a free copy of PAX Day, Thank you for that subscription, the Jur36. Really appreciate that. Everyone else, if you want to subscribe down below and help us reach that goal, we got a 1,000 subscriber goal. We're going to do a 24-hour subathon. You get to take part in giveaways. A lot of great stuff here on the channel that we're putting out. Bean says, I'm up. Good day, buddy. How's it going? How's it going, Bean? Great to see you. I'm glad you're up. Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, it was a late night last night. I was up till like 5 in the morning doing stuff with everybody. It's been really great. We're having a ton of fun. Brian says, hot fix patches this morning. Yes. Hey, has anyone else seen if you customize your spell keys that you often can't cast them in a row without switching to another first? I haven't had that issue. I have all of my spells on my hotbar, and then when I switch my gear, they just highlight. So if I'm not wearing a piece of equipment that is associated with one of the keybinds, and I put it on, and now is highlightable, and now I can cast it. So I haven't really noticed that too much. Thagus says, I'm in Caroline to pick up my kid, just listening in. All right, sounds good, Thagus. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. We're going over the roadmap now, and we're going to be starting to get into things that we're getting in the future. So from this point on, everything that we're going to be talking about is either ongoing or is coming in the future. So this is where we're going to be doing a lot of theorycraft, guys. Put your thinking caps on, get your sleuth hats out, and let's think about the future of PAX Day here. I want to give ideas of what we want to see. I want to talk about our thoughts about all of these points as well. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, as long as you're acting in good faith, I want to have that dialogue with you guys. If this is your first time here, do not be shy. Hop in chat with us. I'm reading all the messages that I can. Super chats will always get read. Like I said, channel members, I do my best to get to those messages, and I try to read all of them, but there's more of you than there are of me. I can only keep up so much. And says, yes, I've been having that issue too. That's strange. Some issues affect some people and they don't affect other people. It's really quite weird. Ya says, I have the issue on occasion, misbehaving spell bar. Yeah, see, I haven't had any issue with my spell bar at all. Brian says, okay, Woot, I thought it was just me. Yeah, I changed mine to ZXCVB. Oh, for your spells. I do F1, F2, F3, F4, because that's what I'm used to with World of Warcraft. I'll reach up to push those spells. I have reported, I reported it 2 days ago. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Make sure you guys are putting in your F8s. Make sure that you're putting in those F8s for everything that you think is even just imbalanced, so that way they get that feedback. You want draft horses? Having any form of mount would be really, really cool, Maven. All right, guys, let's get into verse 2, which comes in winter. Now, I know that there's some dispute about when winter starts in the UK compared to here, and there's like, I don't know, when it officially starts. We don't really know exactly what winter means. I would just assume if you're in a place where snow normally happens, if there's snow on the ground, this verse 2 update could come. We don't know when it's going to happen, though. Tizzy says, I would settle for a donkey. I would love a donkey. Could you imagine if you had a donkey that you couldn't ride, but you could attach a lead to it, and you could lead it around, and you could put all kinds of stuff on it? That would make moving very, very easy. You could just load up a pack mule or a donkey with your entire build and then just travel somewhere and start to unpack your donkey. Just imagine taking a bedroll off the back and a tent off the back and putting up a little camp and having the campfire give you a little bit of a buff for sitting around it, like a stamina buff for an hour or something, because you have well rested and well fed like they do in some other games. And then you start to rebuild. Or if you're a traveling merchant, you have your donkey carrying all your supplies. PvP would be huge then. You'd have to hire contingencies of security. There's a lot of stuff that could go on. I know all of that is theorycraft, but this is where theorycraft begins. Tizzy says that would be amazing. Brian says, Ange, if you find or hear a fix, let me know. I'll let you know if I hear of a fix. I always bring you guys the news here on PaxCast. As soon as I hear something, I try to make it so that you guys can hear something. I know a lot of you already read these patch notes and already look over these roadmaps and stuff, so you come here to interact and hear my thoughts on stuff and give your thoughts in a public forum here. But I love to go over these things. I'll always bring you guys the news as fast as I can. Ryan says, being able to gather longer without filling up with your pack animal would be great. Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. Ange says, will do. Currently, I'm switching between 2 spells and to get them to work again. Brian says that's exactly what I do. Yeah, I don't have that issue. That's so strange. I'll have to mess around with it more and see if I can induce that, and then we'll all put in F8s. I noticed that when 160 people put in F8 reports, you kind of get things done. So if something is a burning issue, make sure you let us know, let your allies know, your other allied clans, we'll let our allies know. We'll put in hundreds of F8 reports all at the same time to get that pushed through to make sure that they're paying attention to it. So with verse 2, during winter, market stalls and a gold economy. Now, this was something that was supposed to come in this first update. Well, okay, this actually makes sense now. Let me clarify something here. When they said that the market stalls and gold economy are coming with the first big update, all of this is still considered proving grounds. It's verse 1, verse 2 of proving grounds. So technically, they just had bad communication skills. I was kind of bashing them saying, well, the market stalls and the gold economy didn't come with the first update. And people were saying, well, the compass and the friends list and all this other stuff didn't come with the first update. And that's true. It did not come with the first update, but it did come with the first update because it's part of the proving grounds update. It's just coming in verse 2. So that kind of clarifies some things. It's a communication issue there. It's a PR issue. They're just not communicating it with us very well. Hopefully they can get that issue solved. Brian says, same void. I thought the compass was coming with this too. Yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of people were disappointed. They're like, this is crap. We didn't get this, this, and this. They're like, screw this game. I'm out of here. And that's why we just got to give them the benefit of the doubt when these things happen like this. But technically, it's still coming with the first update, which is proving grounds. So we know we're going to be getting the market stall and the gold economy. We've talked about that extensively. If you guys have anything else you want to add to that, please don't be shy. Add on to it. I think that their gold economy is going to be broken on release if they don't do a wipe of items because of inflation. I mean, we'll still mess around with it, but I think for serious stuff, we're still going to trade for tangible items because I think the gold economy is going to be just super, super inflated at first. We'll see how that works. I think the only saving grace is that I think gold is only going to come from PvE, like collecting it by killing mobs and stuff. So you're going to have gold farmers. I don't know how they're going to balance that. We'll see. The compass. I'm really looking forward to the compass. I hope it shows waypoints and markers that we put on the map. I hope we can see party members, and I hope we can adjust what appears on the maps or the compass's overlay. But a compass will be really, really helpful. You won't have to, you notice when I move around a lot, I'll open the map tons and tons of times in order to make sure I'm on the right track. You won't have to do that anymore if you have a compass. It'll be a lot easier. Friends list. I'm really looking forward to this friends list, and I wonder what is going to come with that. Is the friends list going to allow us to add a level of permissions to our friends? Can we give a friend access to a chest specifically? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, though. Brian says even a minimap would be nice, if not a compass. I think a compass would be easier for them, and a minimap would be harder to implement. I would like to have both. Put a compass on my minimap. Zachary says, I'm still disappointed that they aren't focusing on making social systems and mechanics a priority. Right now, socialization is extremely segmented using third-party communication. Go a little more depth in that, Zachary. What do you mean by they aren't focusing on social systems? I think they did say that during the proving grounds, the social systems are going to be a big part of that, like a social rework such as this friends list and stuff. But if you're talking realistically a social system, it already does exist to some extent. Trading is a big thing. I'm focusing on leatherworking and my apothecary. So I need to go to other people for certain things. Not everyone's mastering everything. So there is a social aspect there. But you say you're disappointed they aren't focusing on making social systems and mechanics a priority. Well, the mechanics of combat was a big priority here. So that was one of the mechanics that they focused on quite heavily. Right now, socialization seems extremely segmented using third-party communication. What third-party communications are you talking about, Zachary? That's what I want to know right there. That's the question for you. What third-party communications are you referring to? You talking about like Discord? Because people will always use Discord. That's not going anywhere. Ryan says, I think he means VoIP maybe. Are you talking about VoIP? I would love to see VoIP in game. VoIP would be amazing. Also, welcome into the stream, Zachary, and thanks for your message there. Zachary goes on to say, in-game communications is still limited to visual distance. Travel is still extremely limited as it requires large time investment. Oh, like so travel. Yeah, I mean, eventually we know we're going to get mounts, although you can travel faster now if you use the breath of whatever it is, those boots, the breath of joy. Those let you run really fast so you can travel a little bit faster now. You do have more stamina, although you move slightly slower. I found it better to traverse the world, but we do need mounts. You're absolutely right. And with the church system, whenever that does come in, we're going to be getting fast travel from different churches. You can link your churches together. So we will have fast travel to some degree. Hopefully it's balanced. We talked about that on some previous streams as well. And hopefully we get mounts soon. Brian says, I think he means Most people are focused on using Discord. Well, I mean, that's always going to be the case, though. You're never gonna have that go away. But I think they should have systems in place in game. I mean, like we have guild chat, we have party chat. Those aren't localized, so those are across far distances. It would be and you can whisper people as well. So you can whisper. We do have clan chat, we do have party chat, and then you have the local chat. So I think they will expand upon it in the future, though. But I definitely know what you're talking about there. Bengals says, I'd love to see husbandry like in Enshrouded. I think we're gonna have to get husbandry at some point, especially if we get mounts. That would be high. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say it's high priority, but I think that would be that'd be highly anticipated if they announced that. People would be really looking forward to that. Brian says, speaking of, has anyone noticed these guys in camps can be heard from way, way longer distances than they should? I think that's something to do with the sound. Even the animals, you can hear them a lot further. I don't know if it's intended or if things are just made to be echoing around the valleys and stuff. But yeah, I have noticed that. And I have noticed that out in the wilds now, there is just a creepy, ominous noises that come from deep out somewhere. I tried to follow these noises and these voices, and I have not been able to track them down yet. I think they're only audible right now. But this may be alluding to other creatures coming into the world, maybe even world bosses, because we started to hear some really, really creepy stuff. And this is just a theory of mine, but we can now make like stone skin potions, which gives you slash and pierce and bludgeoning resistance, really, really, really high resistances. And there's a super mega ultra poison resist potion as well that I started to make. What two things do we know of that are going to be coming in as like pseudo world bosses? A wyvern, which probably has poison, and a griffin, which probably does a lot of slash and bludgeoning and other like physical damages. Maybe those potions are designed to be used against those world bosses, and maybe those noises are alluding to something deep out in the bowels of the wildlands. I don't know for sure, but that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Bengal says maybe even include that in the market system, like buying animals in the market. Yeah, that'd be really cool. If you could buy animals at the market, then Zahid could sell all of the goats that he needs to right there at the market stalls. Have you guys missed Zahid in our previous streams? He was at the Vidarian Orders market that they had. We went out there. We got a lot of goats from Zahid. Zachary says, this is what I mean by being segmented. Communication is limited to the people you know exist. The only way to find people you don't know is to run into them. Zachary, so what would be a solution to that? How would you like to see that going forward? Because I don't think just showing people on the map is a good thing. That ruins my immersion. I don't think just having a global chat is the right thing to do, because we're in a medieval setting. How does that make sense to be able to just global chat with everyone on the whole server? What do you think would be a solution for that? I understand what you're talking about, but it makes exploration and stumbling into their builds and then seeing if there's someone in their town, it makes that a lot more rewarding, because you get to. So you think regional chat should be a thing? I don't know. I'd be on the fence about that. I respect your opinion on that. I think that it, maybe if you could turn it off, maybe you could toggle it on and off for some people who don't want it. But we're in like the medieval ages kind of. So how would that really work? How are we screaming to people across the world? And I know it's a game, so we just need systems like that. So maybe it would work. I don't know. Maybe it would work. Regional chat like Tremen. That'd be pretty interesting. I'd be willing to try it out. They would probably, some people would probably like it. Well, I know we have magic, but it is a low fantasy game. So you can have magic. I mean, they'd have to tie it into something there if you wanted it to make sense lore-wise. Like, do we have telekinesis? Do we have telepath, however you pronounce it, where you can send messages with your mind or something? I don't know. I mean, they could chalk it up to, maybe when we get like a mail system, are we gonna be able to send mail to each other? That'd be really cool. Think of it like this, you have a mailbox you set up, and then you can get mail from other players, and like you can send an owl or a raven or something to come and drop it off. That'd be really cool, actually. I know we're getting into a little bit of like Harry Potter style stuff now, but yeah, I don't know how they would work it in. I think I'd be fine with it either way. Maybe if you could just toggle it off. Well, maybe they link the regions to the respawn stone. So say that is how we're able to communicate telepathically or something. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, they could tie it in there. Now you're onto some good stuff. I like that. I like that idea, Ryan. Zachary. Really, really good idea there. Ryan says, I'd be 100% down for mail. Yeah, and guys, again, a lot of this, Theorycraft. We're going to get into what's actually coming here. You can see it up on screen right now, but this is Theorycraft. So I don't want people to misconstrue this as, oh, I'm saying that this stuff's coming. We're Theorycraft and we're having a good time. We're talking about things we'd like to see in the game. Ganja says Ravens. Brian says, actually, Ryan, I agree with you. So there you go. Brian agrees with you there. Not being able to communicate with people we have met yet is a net positive for me. So you think that not being able to communicate with people that you haven't met is a net positive. So that's what I mean. If you could toggle that off, I don't know, because then if you toggle it off, some people are going to be using it and they're going to have that advantage of knowing people and then others won't. So they're kind of leaning, Zachary, I will say one thing they're kind of leaning into is they removed your clan name from your plots and from your name. You can see when other people are in your clan because they have the little banner, and I think it has to do with the new nameplates, but they have removed the ability to see whose plots they are, like if it's X, Y, and Z's clan, and they also removed being able to see whose clan someone is in. So you're going to be relying on their tabards a lot more, which could lead to impersonations. Because again, people can make alts. I have strong feelings about alts and how they can be abused. But if you make an alt and you make a fake clan on that alt, maybe you need to have a guild charter. You need to have X amount of people sign a clan charter in order to be able to form a clan. That would alleviate that, because right now somebody could just make an alt, put a fake clan on them, and then make a banner that mimics someone else's banner, and they could masquerade as that clan, causing all kinds of havoc. I think that's a problem. Let's introduce clan charters. You need 10 people to make a clan. Clans consist of 10 people. You can have parties and friends to accommodate everybody below a 10-person minimum, but then you need 10 people in order to make a clan. It still's not perfect because you'll have people who are in, let's say, bigger griefing groups that are 10 or plus people. They'll make alts, they'll make fake clan, and then they'll make their tabard look like another clan to impersonate them and then go about and harass people or do whatever. So it's not a perfect system yet, but I think these are all really, really great ideas. Ganja says, I love when we theorycraft. A lot of people do. A lot of people really, really love the theorycraft. Zachary says, communication right now is done through Discord, which inherently segments the community. I don't like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. We have to think of solutions and offer solutions to those problems that would be both balanced for as many people as possible. But yeah, I definitely agree. It is done over Discord right now. And that's like with most games though. Even in World of Warcraft, we have all kinds of systems. Everybody just communicates on Discord. No one's like using the in-game event system and stuff like that on World of Warcraft. It's all just on the Discord in one place. Because then if you play multiple games, it's easier to keep it all straight. But I know what you mean, Zachary, 100%. Brian says, I thought the lack of clan names was a bug or a default off. I didn't realize that it could have been on purpose. It could have been on purpose. We don't know. They haven't told us. I think it may not really be a bug. I think it was an unintended side effect of putting the little clan banner on people's names or on their nameplates, and they just didn't think about other people's clans. I don't know how maybe they'll implement it with clan tags in the future or something. I'm not sure. And says, I would be cool with people having to obtain certain gear to communicate with people further away. Or maybe you just have to like touch the stone. Maybe you just go to the Stellas or the Petra Days. The Stellas all connect to the Petra Day. The Petra Days connect to the other regions. And then maybe there's a hub that connects to the other provinces or something. It could be pretty interesting. And then, you could go to the Stella, you could touch the Stella, and it would relay your communication to the greater area of people who are looking for, almost like a looking for party stone in World of Warcraft or something. That'd be pretty interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of ideas on what they could do. Zachary says, I like that idea. Yeah, that would be interesting because then they'd be tying it in. Ryan says, to get people off Discord, you would have to offer an in-game solution that was superior to Discord, and I don't think any other game can do that due to the nature of how easy Discord makes it. Ryan goes on to say communications and comms and organizations, and says, that's brilliant, Void. Yeah, that could work. I'm glad you like that idea. That would be cool lore too, Ganja says. And again, this is Theorycraft. This is probably never going to happen, but So let's continue with the roadmap here. Now that I've kept up with all of your chats, I love the chats, guys. Keep them coming. If you have any ideas on any of this stuff, just let it rip. Verse 2, winter, market stalls and gold economy, compass, friends list, language coming for German and French localizations, and more to come, ... It's that part that I'm really intrigued on. More to come. These are the things that are ongoing now. So in winter, we know we're getting all that stuff. Good, great, grand, wonderful. Some pretty good stuff in there. Ongoing, building and crafting balancing. So right now things are a little hectic with the building and crafting. There's a lot of things that are imbalanced. There's pitfalls and stuff based on the new rebalance. I don't think it's that bad though, honestly. I think it's pretty good. Hopefully they get it dialed in really soon, but that's going to be an ongoing thing. Key remapping. It's going to be an ongoing thing as well. Improved combat feel. So they're going to continue to fix. And this is why we got to give those F8s, guys. We have to get those F8s in and let them know how we feel about the combat. If you have noticed any bugs or issues with combat, like you guys were talking about earlier, make sure you let that known here. So that way we can get that over to mainframe. Hopefully they tune into these every now and then and they can hear what the audience is saying. I would love to get an interview with them, but I really don't think that's going to happen, guys. We found out some interesting stuff about Mainframe and their parent company and how their content creator programs work. They have put out a new thing for their new content creator program. And let's just say, long story short, I'm not really pursuing it anymore. I'm just going to remain 100% independent because I can't be bought and paid for. Let's say that. But ongoing, they're going to be improving that combat feel. Let's keep giving them feedback on what we currently have. I'm loving it so far. They're going to continue to add new spells, so that's ongoing. That's really, really great to hear. New spells, new enemies is ongoing, guys. What new enemies do you think we really need in the game? What pitfalls do you think we currently have? I think there's a lot of room for a bunch of new animals, but they have to have a reason to be in the world, right? In a game, it's nice to have variety if the variety is balanced and if the variety makes sense and has purpose. You don't want to have just 36 different types of animals just to have a variety of, hey, I got attacked by a snake, but I skinned it and got the same stuff I get from a rabbit. Maybe you could use the fangs and different reagents that are used for different things to craft or make little trophies for your walls or something like that. What new enemies do you guys want to see? I really want to see that giant demon from the really early on concepts. There was some huge demon out in the wilds that they were coming up on. It was crazy looking. Zachary says, Discord is great communication within your organization. It is a terrible solution for communicating with a wider game world. And that's what is lacking right now. Well, we have a lot of our allied clan members. They're all on our Discord as well. So when we put out announcements and stuff, it is a community-wide thing. But I definitely understand what you're saying there, Zachary. And hopefully we can come up with, if you have any other ideas on how they could improve that, make it known here so we can have some dialogue about it. Albert says, I don't think getting into here is visible. I don't think getting into here is visible just because of the time I've put in and the ticket process. Never mind, though. I've been playing Star Citizen since 2017, so maybe I can join in on that when it happens. Bless. Yeah, absolutely, Albert. It's up to you. If you want to try getting in with us over on our server, we can help you get your skills back up to where they were. We have 160 plus members. It won't take long at all. We'll get you to where you need to be. Or if you want to play Star Citizen with us, anything that you want to do, that's completely up to you, but you can type !Discord, join our Discord server. That's the Cheeky Buggers United community Discord server. That's where we play Star Citizen and all that good stuff. And then if you want to take it a step further and become a verified member, you can go to our website, type !Website, submit an application, and we will get to that in a timely fashion as soon as we can. But if you want to play Star Citizen with us and all stuff like that, you can join the community and just play Star Citizen. You can join the community and just play on our Minecraft server or whatever it is that you want to be a part of. It's up to you. Ryan says, Demon Bunny. Dodo's Ganja says. Maven says, I want goats and sheep, maybe some cows. Well, that would go along with more husbandry. I'm talking like wild animals out in the woods, like enemies that we would be fighting. I know that we all want husbandry, we want goats and sheep, and we can have a conversation about that too. But in specific, enemies. What types of enemies? Factions of enemies, groups of enemies, packs of enemies, demons. I want to see the demons expanded upon. Right now, we've seen like I think eventually the demons, the imps and stuff, I think those will get enhanced, because right now the ghosts just got enhanced. I think the demons and the imps will get enhanced at some point, and we'll get an overhaul for them, and maybe they'll even get some of their own lore and not just be tied to their masters and be summoned and stuff. Tizzy says orcs. That would be interesting. I don't think that we will be able to play any other races ever. There was a couple indications of that earlier on where people were asking like, will there ever be any other like humanoids and stuff? And they said, I think essentially what I took away from it was we won't be able to play any of these other races, but those races are not necessarily off the table. To them, low fantasy means it's the human struggle. So I think we're always going to continue as the human struggle, meaning we're playing the humans, but that doesn't mean they can't add orcs on their own as like a standalone faction that we fight and stuff like that. That would be really, really cool. I would love to see stuff like that. I would not be upset if they went away from low fantasy into high fantasy. I think this is a great platform for that. I don't know if they ever will, but I would love to see orcs and elves and all that crazy stuff. I don't know what you guys feel, how you guys feel about that. Not letting us play those factions at first, maybe. Some people would say they want to play those factions, but I think keeping us as humans would be okay. And adding in all these other factions for us to encounter would be really, really interesting. That would leave us united as a player base, as the humans, against all these other threats. And I think it would unite people a lot more, and it would make PvP and PvPvE combat a little more interesting. There you go, Albert. Yep, that's a link over to our website. We got all kinds of stuff on there. At the top, you'll see Wiki. That's our Wikipedia page where we have all kinds of stuff for PAX Day. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good information over there. Bengal says wild tribes would be awesome. Goblins, yeah, the goblins would be pretty cool. I'm all for that stuff. Skeletons coming out of the ground, that would be really cool, Tizzy. Maven says druids with a reputation system. If you can help them, they're nice. If you don't have a rapport, then they can be another type. Northmen, that would be pretty interesting. That would be really, really interesting. Some really great ideas, guys, but that is new enemies is on the ongoing list here. So we're going to be getting some new spells and some new enemies. It's just going to be a continual thing. We're just going to have to go out and keep exploring. Who knows? Maybe there's already some right now that we just haven't even found yet. And they're in some deep bowels of a cave that just haven't been explored yet. Improved permission system. So they're going to continue to improve the permission system. That's great. That's really, really great. Hopefully that means for loot and for clan ranks and stuff like that, and maybe even for your friends list. Expand building sets. So we're going to keep having new building tile sets. I think this is going to be great for the builders out there to make unique places. Hopefully they keep some level of semblance to all of the build pieces and they don't have just crazy, wildly different build pieces, because then the world will feel a lot there'll be a lot of variety, but it might feel a little bit disconnected if, you know, you start getting too modern or too high tech or too different feel for some of the build pieces. But I would love to see some new decorations and things and new gear. Now, does this mean new tiers of items, like higher tiers past 41, past the stuff we have now, past steel? Or does it mean new pieces of gear like magic items? We don't really know, but all of this stuff's going to be ongoing here. Zachary says, I don't want NPCs though. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about NPCs. Not NPCs like that are going to give you quests and stuff. I mean, technically you could argue that we already have NPCs because we have enemy AI and stuff, which those are non-player characters that are fighting you. But yeah, no, I don't want NPCs like NPC villages and stuff like that. I think having the player-driven villages and things like that are a way to keep the social aspect of the game alive. They want PCs, yeah, player characters and mobs, and that's all. Yeah, that's what they've said pretty early on, but they have changed their vision on several things, so we'll see going forward what that brings us. So those are all the ongoing things. Again, if you guys have any comments about what's ongoing there, please let us know later during early access. So these are things looking further into the future now. This is where some serious theory craft can start to take place. New furniture, nothing super crazy there. I think new furniture is definitely warranted. I think we all want some new furnishings and things to flesh out our builds. Farming with planters. We've talked about this quite a bit on the channel before with some earlier episodes of PaxCast from season 1. I think that this is exactly how farming is going to work on its first iteration. I think you're going to be able to have planters like we have now, and you're going to have to put soil in them. Maybe they'll come with soil. Maybe it's crafted with soil, some wood, and maybe some fertilizer or something, and then you craft a little windowsill planter of sorts. And then I think you're going to have to get seeds through maybe either a new system like gardening or something like that, herbalism, because we know herbalism is a skill that was on the list there for a while. I think it might still be, actually. They didn't take it off, so maybe herbalism might be coming soon. You'll have to get seeds. You'll plant those seeds by interacting with it like the crafting stations we have now, where they take time, like the leather rack and stuff, where you put stuff in and then other stuff comes out. I think the planters will work like that. You'll put seeds in, You'll have to water it maybe, put the seeds in the water in there. Maybe they'll add watering cans. I don't know. Maybe it'll just, its first iteration, you'll just put the seeds and the water in there. Who knows? And then on the other side, after X amount of time, you will get the end product of the plant or flower or whatever it is. I do think that in the future, they will go to farming in the world, like on the ground with plots, because they did say that that was something that they wanted to do, that they were going to be messing around with earlier on, having them ground. Because someone asked about terraforming and, editing the world around us. And they said they don't want us to be able to dig through caves and things like that and terraform it. It's not, the way that the game's made to be played. But they did say that the surface level manipulation through farming could be a thing in the future where you could use maybe a till or a hoe and you could manipulate the soil in order to make planting areas. And that's where having another plot will come in handy. Because then you can have one dedicated to planting your crops and stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think that would be a pretty good first iteration of farming, be to have these planters work how I described and then eventually move over into an open world farming where you could have big plots with different crops and stuff. Here is a huge one that we talked a little bit about already, weather. So I would like to see localized weather. I think that would add a ton of immersion to the game. I hope they add not just weather, but also moon phases and solar events and maybe celestial stuff, because there's a lot of magic that alludes to natural things in the world around us. Imagine if there were blood moons or harvest moons or new moons, and all of these things affected the world around you. And that could be pretty interesting if they start adding that stuff in, and then they could go even further to have celestial alignments. And this would allow us to then expand our role play, because now we can have them tie into our deities. And if you guys are wondering what all of our deities are that we've created, we have role play made up for them. We have different rituals and stuff that we do throughout our different role play sessions. And you can find those over on our Wikipedia page. That's wiki.cheekybugger.net. And or you could just type !wiki in chat. You'll get a link over to it. We got a bunch of great stuff over there. But weather could mean a lot of things. It could mean a lot of really, really big things, in fact. I would love to see all of that stuff implemented, but they have not said anything like that. Although we did go from having like just a whole ass moon in the sky to now it is a crescent moon. So they are making some changes there, and the lighting is changing at night as well. So who knows? I would like to see the lighting change based on the different moon phase. If we have a full moon, it should be really bright. If you have a new moon where it's really, really dark, it should be kind of like pitch black at night. You can't really see. Depending on how much of the crescent is showing is how bright it is at night. I would love to see that. I want a reason to be able to hold a torch. Let the torches last longer. Let the lanterns last damn near indefinitely and be refillable with oil or something. So you can just carry oil with you and refill it. And then let us carry those lanterns at light. Make the lantern less of a spotlight and more of an AoE around you. And that would add a ton of effects. Give us potions like night eye or, like night vision and stuff like that, like cat's eye or something where you can see at night. Give us fall damage reduction potions. That's going to make alchemy fleshed out a bunch. But all of that could tie back into the weather and the light system, the weather, the moon cycles, the stars and stuff. I think all of that has a place in this game. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that could be really, really cool stuff right there. Improved NPC behavior. We've already seen this quite a bit with the new combat. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they mean by improved NPC behavior. I think it's going to mean things like resetting properly so that way they can't be exploited. I think it's going to mean things like maybe they'll heal each other a little better or interact with each other a little better. The AI for the NPCs has gotten a lot better already. I look forward to seeing what they're going to do in the future. What other improvements do you think need to be made to the NPC behavior? What do you think? What else do you think they need to change or improve that is kind of buggy or wonky right now? Let me know in the chat there, guys, what you think about the NPC behaviors. Another big point here. I have to grab a drink of water really quick. My voice is going out. Much better. Okay. So better crowd control. I think this is going to not just be stuns. I think this is actually going to be, well, we already have the mesmerize and we already have the pacifies, and those work pretty good as is. And then we have stuns. I think we have two forms of stuns, really. You have like your bashes and your activatable ones, and then you have your passive ones from like the sign defining mace and stuff like that. I'm really curious what other forms of crowd control they're going to have in the future. I'm really trying to think of what they could even add. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the chat what you think they could be adding in terms of crowd control. This is a huge one right here. The Knight role and the Soldier role. I think when this comes, it's probably going to come with PvP coming to a wider area. We know that the Knight and the Soldier roles are not necessarily going to be tied, according to the information that we have, are not necessarily going to be tied directly to clans or things like that. Tizzy says Blizzard-like spell. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, AoE colds and slows and snares. That's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point. The Knight role and the Soldier role are going to change the way the game is played, I think. It's going to become a lot more interesting. I think this might be the opt-in feature for PvP. I'm not too sure yet. We don't have enough information to, really say for sure. But the Knight and Soldier role, I think, are going to add a ton to the game because I think they're going to come with PvP. Let me know what you guys think about those as well. All these points here, guys, if you have something to say on them, don't be shy. Let it rip in chat. Altars and miracles. Well, first, the Knight and the Knight role and the Soldier role, I think those are going to work hand in hand with the baronies and the sieging system, and maybe even being flagged for PvP in the home valleys. So right now we have Lioness, where you can go and everybody's PvP flagged. We think that eventually we're going to get PvP in the Wildlands, where you'll be able to put up your baronies, and that's where you'll be able to do sieges and stuff. And I think that according to the information we have, that the Knights and Soldiers will be flagged in the Heartlands, even in the home valleys. I think that those guys will remain flagged and they'll be battling anywhere. It's kind of like flagging yourself in World of Warcraft for PvP. Ryan says you could add a spell to rage an enemy to draw them out alone. You could have slows and stops or dazes. You could have spells that allow enemies to only block or not attack, vice versa. Those are really good points, really, really good points. And I think also, what if we stop spell casting? We know we're going to be getting a new resource called, what was it again? Grace. We know we're going to be getting the Grace system, which is going to actually be tied to the real altars and miracles and like the real magic. Right now, we just have items that are imbued with some leftover remnants of magic from the old redeemers and old gods and stuff like that. We're going to be getting a full-fledged overhaul to the magic system when we get the miracles, the altars, and the grace system, which is going to be tied to the churches. So I think a lot of changes are coming, and I think that having something, expanding upon what you're saying there, Ryan, having interrupts for magic and stuff like mind freeze and whatever to interrupt their concentration, I think will go a long way as well to make the game really have a fleshed out combat system. Tim, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Tim says, since they want roles to be based on gear selection, a hunter/rogue role using leather with various traps that could be laid down or cast as magical abilities. Yes, a really great point there, Tim. I do hope, and I've said this before on the channel as well, I do hope that they start to lean into the different tiers of items. So if you're wearing leather or cloth or plate, you will kind of be defined more by what you're wearing. Tim, absolutely great point. Yes, that is an awesome point to bring up, because if you're wearing leather, I think you should move a little faster. Maybe you have a little more mobility. Maybe you can use different spells like sneak spells or something like that. I'd love to see stealth come into the game. I don't know how exactly they would do that, but really, really great points there, Tim. Ryan says, well, we have the mental resistance already baked in, right? So that would make total sense. I think they did away with a lot of that stuff in PvP, though. I don't know what really does mental damage or anything like that right now. The mental resistance, I'm not really sure is too used currently. You used to be able to use Mesmerize and Pacify and stuff on people in PvP. It was super, super broken. They might actually bring it back now, because I think the issue that was happening was people were Mez fireballing players. And because of the Mez fireball bug where it wasn't breaking the Mesmerize, they got rid of it in PvP. Maybe it'll come back in PvP now, and then we will see the return of those mental resistances. That's a good point as well, Ryan. And this is why I love having this open forum with you guys, because you guys have some really, really great ideas. Jennifer says winter equals late December, late March. So hopefully we get it pretty soon. because we're already at November 8th. December is going to be coming up before we know it. And I think they're going to be doing some small iterations and adding stuff in between these as well. The altars and miracles, guys, I could do a whole episode of PaxCast on that alone. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. We did one where we first got some information about it. Let me know. We could do a whole talk about Knight Roll, Soldier Roll, and Altars and Miracles in and of themselves. I mean, it's just a huge topic right there. Vincent, how's it going? Welcome into the stream. He says, good afternoon, Blood Brothers. Great to see you, Vincent. Thanks for stopping by the stream, buddy. We're going over all kinds of theory craft now of what's coming in the future. We talked about what's going to be coming in verse 2, the ongoing stuff. We went over some patch notes that took place earlier today. All kinds of stuff we're going over. So chime right in, Vincent. Don't be shy. Great to hear from you, buddy. And if you guys know any friends or family members or acquaintances who would love to partake in these chats as well, make sure you send them my stream. Let them know about PaxCast so we can have this dialogue together. Christmas time drop? Maybe, Maven. You might be onto something there. We might get something around Christmas. Unveil the lore. So they've been leaking and letting out a little bit more lore here and there. They do videos on them and stuff. Maybe I'm going to start up doing, maybe we'll do some reaction videos to their lore videos that they've put out. Those are covered by fair use, so I can replay their videos and then react to them, because they've been doing some lore stuff. We've been unveiling our own lore over on the Veiled Mythos. The Veiled Mythos is a podcast that I started up. It's not going to get any updates for a little while because I'm doing I have to keep up with PaxCast, and I'm going to be doing my 30 days of Pax Day. But we've been announcing and doing voiceovers for all of the different deities that we have. We did Valskavard and Arachnavar so far. Let me know which one you guys would like to see next. You guys really seem to like those. The best way to let me know that you guys like a certain podcast or a certain type of stream is to hit that thumbs up button, leave comments on it, and let me know how much you guys like it. And inherently, you're going to be getting entries into that giveaway then. So unveiling the lore, they're going to be talking more, hopefully, about the natural lore around us. I really, really hope, and I know a lot of people in my clan and in the community really hope that they don't tie us into any systems too heavily. I hope that it's not just going to be the type of religion system that it has been touted as. I hope they open it up to allow us to kind of lean into our own a little bit more and implement our own titles. Because what if we want to have a magic or a religion system that's more based around being the natural druids and stuff like that? I should be able to name it like Archdruid for the highest. It should not need to be Pope. So hopefully with the church system, they allow us to have a little wider variety of things. But unveiling the lore, I'm looking forward to hearing about the lore. Let me know if you guys want to see more lore podcasts or what you guys think of the lore podcast. So that way I know if people are liking it so I can continue with that. Gear customization. And in the Veiled Mythos, on that podcast, we will be talking about the lore about the game too. It's not just about the lore of our role play. There will be ones talking about, Maven says Alvrita. Yeah, exactly. The Celestial Seer. We will be talking about the lore of the game as well. Gear customization. We have not really heard too much about this yet, but let me know what you guys think this could mean. Gear customization is that's a big deal. This ties into so many systems. I could probably do a whole podcast just about this alone, but gear customization could mean I want to be able to see you leave your mark on the things you craft. All of my potions should say brewed by Voidlock, Order of the Blood Brothers, leader of the Order of the Blood Brothers. We should be able to put our mark, our signature on the things that our trademark on the things that we're producing. If you're a blacksmith and you're making awesome gear for people and you're customizing it through this system and you're putting it out there, you have unique items. I would love to see modifiers and all kinds of stuff that could be applied to these. Maybe it's done through the crafting system where you're crafting a Zweihander sword, which unfortunately was removed from the game. You could add different ingredients in, like snake fangs or something, that would then modify it in some way in the crafting. You can have customized hilts. Maybe it's visual, maybe it's effects, maybe it's durability, maybe it's longevity, maybe it's damage. Who knows? But customizations, maybe a sword that does a little bit less damage, but it lasts a really long time. And that was made by a master blacksmith or weaponsmith. Things like that, I think, are really going to bring the economy alive a shit ton, because now not everything's the same price. Not everything is the same value. Things are modified, so they're going to be having different prices and have different worth. It's going to be an interesting system to say the least, but let me know what you guys think about gear customization. Ryan says almost certainly it's at least going to allow for color dyeing, but it better allow for blacksmith mark or riot. I agree 100% with that. Yes, I think that leaving our mark on it and dyeing stuff is the very baseline of what we hopefully will get. I really, really want to see modifications to the stats and stuff because I think that's going to add a lot of variety. And variety, I always say variety is great. The more variety, the better, as long as it can be balanced. So as long as they can balance it, make it feel good, I think it's better. It could be better. Let me know if you guys have any other final thoughts on that or anything else, guys, because we're nearing the end of the podcast here. There's not much more on this list. But if there's anything else, absolutely anything else that you guys would like to talk about, please let me know in chat now. Update to Unreal Engine 5.4. If anybody in chat, excuse me, I'm running on fumes here. If anybody in chat knows more of what 5.4 will bring, please let me know what that might mean for the game, because Unreal Engine is a pretty big project, and I know a lot of people like to some people like to keep up with it. GeForce Now, voice chat. I know we're all looking toward, not everyone's looking for voice chat. I don't think everybody's going to use voice chat, but I'm really looking forward to voice chat because that means when I host events, I can just talk. Now, hopefully it means that people aren't abusing the voice chat. I'll have to put a disclaimer that whatever comes over the voice chat does not represent anything like on my channel, because people could just come over and, just drop profanities right on chat and try to get me banned off YouTube or something. So hopefully that's moderated, or hopefully it's implemented in a way that would, maybe I can turn off their voice chat, but you guys can hear mine. I don't know. It's tough. You can't just let everyone's voice come over on chat, because if people just say some terrible things, then it comes across your channel and you can get banned on YouTube. But I think that you're covered somehow, because I know other big streamers, they have things like that come across, and it's not their responsibility. Controller support, I thought, was already in the game. People were saying that they could plug their controller in and they could just use it already. So I thought controller support was already in. Maybe they mean more controller support. I'm not too sure there. But that gear customization, the altars and miracles, the knight and soldier role, I think we're going to be talking a lot about that in the future, guys. I think we're going to have a ton to talk about there. But that's everything that is on their roadmap here. Over on their website, they ended out by saying, "We would like to once more thank you all for your continued support and for helping us make PAX Day the best it can be, the mainframe team." So that is their roadmap ahead. We now have our new roadmap moving forward for PAX Day. A bunch of really interesting stuff on this roadmap, guys. Any final thoughts? Please let them rip. We've been going for over 2 hours. This took us. Wow. We've been streaming for 2 hours talking about the news and happenings in and around PAX Day. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you do not miss any of my uploads going forward. We always talk about a lot of great stuff here on the channel. And we are nearing our 1,000 subscriber goal. So before you guys leave today, if you could please click that subscribe button, hit the like button while you're down there. Tell your friends about PaxCast. Tizzy says time flies. Yes, it absolutely does, Tizzy. Take part in the giveaway, guys. If you know someone who just can't afford PAX Day right now, send them my way. Get them leaving comments and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out, gets them informed. They can hop in chat and I can answer any of their questions. And it has a chance for them to win a free copy of PAX Day. Huge shout out, guys, to my channel members. You see their names go by before and after. I'm going to be adding everyone to that list who becomes a channel member. I'll try and keep my best to keep that up to date. So Albert, I'm going to be getting you added to that list. I'll actually do that right now. Let me pull that up here. Channel members export. And then I try to keep my channel members list updated there, but that's my credits that goes before and after my streams or at the end of my videos. Keep in mind that those credits are those credits are made, they're baked in when the video was made. So if it's an older video that just hasn't gone live yet, bear in mind that that does not mean that you're just going to be retroactively put on all the videos. It's going forward. So thank you for the support, Albert, for becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. If anybody else would like to become a channel member, you can click that join button down below. It's how I'm able to stay independent and bring you guys the true news as fast as possible. But thank you for all the support, guys. If you'd like to join our community on our Discord, I know we were talking about earlier how Discord, it's taken something away from the games a little bit, and you're absolutely right. But if you'd like to join our community and join our Discord, you can type !Discord in chat. You'll get a link over to the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord server, and that's where everybody's hanging out. We play all kinds of games, guys. We're not just about PAX Day, although it is a big part of our community. It is not the only thing we do. We play Star Citizen, we play World of Warcraft, we play all kinds of games. We host private servers for them. Yep, right there, Ange. Thank you for that, putting that link up for everybody. And if you guys would like to join the Order of the Blood Brothers, and you've seen how much fun we're having in game, and you want to join us, you could type !website in chat now. It'll give you a link over to our website. That is where you can join to become a verified member for the community and then get into any clan that you want. You just go over there, you submit an application. And the reason we have it separated a little bit, how we do, is because you're actually joining the community and then you're choosing which clans and guilds and games you want to play with us. That way we can keep it segmented and there's no conflict of interest, because we have a lot of allied clan members who want to play Star Citizen with us. So they go and get verified, and then they don't have to be in the Order of the Blood Brothers, but they can be a verified member. It's a pretty good system, keeps out a lot of the trolls. Guys, we're 80 hours after the launch of Proving Grounds, and it has proved to be a wonderful patch. Do we need more? Absolutely. Do we want more? Absolutely. Are there problems? Is it perfect? There are problems. It's not perfect, but it is a massive step in the right direction. I think Mainframe has really delivered some great combat with this. I can't wait to see what other changes they make to the combat system going forward to get that gear customization, those altars, those miracles, the night rolls. It's really turning into a great game, guys. The whole world feels so much different now. It's quite amazing. I'm really enjoying my time in it. And if you guys want to become allies with us and you want to come over and hang out with us in Carrie's Tremin, we're going to have a bunch of events coming up. We run dungeons with our allied groups and with our allied clan members and stuff like that. So come and take part in all the fun that Bloodhaven has to offer. We're still rebuilding. We're going to be rebuilding for a while, so probably not going to do a festival until we have like the fairgrounds and everything all set up. It's a ton of work to get everything rebuilt in-game, but it's a lot of fun to get it rebuilt in-game as well. It's been great keeping the news up to date with you guys. As soon as I know something, I try to bring it to you as fast as possible. And one final shout out to all of my channel members, guys. Unbelievable level of support from you guys. I really do appreciate it. With a bunch of people were gifted channel memberships. If you choose to keep that channel membership, you'll get added onto the credits. It'll roll over into next month, and you can link your YouTube to your Discord. You'll get a bunch of perks over on the community Discord server as well. Thank you guys. I'm going to go get some food and hop on Discord and hang out with everybody. But that's it for this episode of PaxCast. This is season 2, episode 1. This is Proving Grounds going forward, guys, are going to be as part of season 2. This was the very first one showing that new roadmap ahead. Share this with your friends so they can not only take part in the giveaway, but they can see all of our thoughts and what's going to be coming in verse 2, as well as ongoing and later during early access. I wonder when later during early access means. But guys, that's going to do it for me. Until I see you guys in the next one, bye for now.
The night descends with shadows deep. In blood heaven, no souls asleep. The blood moon rises in crimson light, casting its light upon the night. Winds howl through the hollow trees, a whispering chant carried on the breeze. Under the blood moon in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Lanterns flicker, casting ghastly forms. In the cemetery something stirs and storms. The graves crack open, their secrets revealed. In Bloodhaven no fate is sealed. A chill creeps in through stone and bone, as spirits of the lost make their presence known. Under the blood moon in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Through cobble streets, footsteps fade. Ghostly hands reach from the grave. No mercy here in the blood moon's glow. Bloodhaven's light is all you'll know. Under the blood moon in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Beneath the blood moon's gaze the shadows sway. In Bloodhaven's light the night will stay.